Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips and Damo Camilleri. We're in audio again. Yes, that's
and
our
Paul gave us
the old clap treatment.
syncing technique, but that has also meant that we get the clap.
It's funny because I heard another podcast the other day say, "No, don't clap. No, we're keeping that in." And I'm like, "Oh, so they clap where they know where to cut things out." That's hilarious. Where we just sync things up and nothing's really cut out apart from I don't know, Matto's revealing
Good,
about
the Terminator
Skynet
reference.
I think
plan.
this is part of the
Back.
plan.
Well, it was a weird one actually. Like, for all that we have, and we may as well go behind the scenes here. For all that we have that little technique, and it's never failed me when it comes to Dev Diary episodes or any of that sort of stuff in the past. For some reason, Damo, you and I were badly out of sync last week, even though our clap was fine. Like we'd remain in sync for 5 or 6 minutes, and then all of a sudden we're out by one of us. I can't tell who, but one of us is out by like 10 seconds, and so
wow.
like trimming stuff to line it back up. 10 seconds maybe a bit much. Like 2 or 3 seconds,
extreme.
and all of a sudden I'm slicing things to kind of even it back up again. It came out a treat, but it was a pain in the ass to do. So he's hoping that's not the case for 3 of us tonight, because then it's probably a nightmare come true.
True.
So
Yeah,
we're talking tonight / today when you're listening to this off the back of BlizzCon, which just happened this past weekend, and there was some pretty cool stuff that kind of came out of it. We're going to dive into the likes of Diablo IV and World of Warcraft and Overwatch 2 and maybe not Hearthstone unless anyone's got a real vested interest in it, but I don't think there was a trailer for it at all. There were some cool things. I think we probably better get the whole Blizzard and its Hong Kong stance out of the way. Blizzard, you dickheads, you're doing the wrong thing. But we're here to talk about video games. And video games we'll still talk about regardless. So, unless anyone's got anything to add, let's start talking about the games. Anything to add, either of you?
No. Politics and things like that should stay out of. South Park. Just watch South Park. If you really want anything to do with anything, just watch South Park and Flash gets his new cartoon animation on YouTube, and
the Hong Kong thing shit. Blizzard's getting involved where they shouldn't be and making some wrong decisions, but at the same time, they just had BlizzCon. They announced some pretty cool stuff, and so as such, I think it's worthwhile us talking about it. So let's maybe kick off with a game that Damo, at the very least, I know you'd have at least some interest in. Overwatch 2.
I mean, I have interest now.
What is it that is tickling your pickle about Overwatch 2?
There's finally a first,
good. So you're thinking
solo
about the same way I am.
campaign. Yeah, well, I think they went around
As in
this
with
wrong.
the original release,
That's
or
my opinion. I think that they should have been but also I think they've done this
really?
wrong. Okay, there was a trailer, you bastard. Yeah, I was a huge I won't use the term disbeliever, but I just thought that a great way to do any of these games, even if it's just like a 6-hour campaign, always have a
especially
campaign.
for someone like Blizzard who does this stuff well.
Yeah, because there's such a great story being told in Overwatch. I think that they should have just been like, hey, by the way, before Overwatch 2 comes out in the next 40 years, what we're going to do is we're just going to give you a free update that's got a story mode. All of a sudden, anybody that was umming and ahhing about buying Overwatch then buys Overwatch now.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know what I mean? Like, solve that problem now. Don't make a second game to fix the problem that you had there. Now, look, that's my opinion. I know that Blizzard, obviously aren't exactly losing money or hemorrhaging money on this one.
No, in fact, they'll probably still be profiting on it.
I'm not saying everyone has to, follow the almighty Parker's rules, but I'm just saying, like a solo campaign, I would have brought it, even if it was just 6 hours.
Yeah, it's fair.
Like, you know what I mean? I spent more time on Halo Online than I did the campaign. But I played it because there was a campaign.
I mean, it's fairly well known that in my case, I'm not a typically not an online multiplayer person, full stop. So I dabbled with Overwatch when it came out because everyone was talking about it as being like this, great thing that you really want to, sit up and pay attention to. So I picked it up and gave it a go, and it was alright, and I enjoyed it, and I could see why everyone else adored it, and then I just moved on because it's not really my scene. So the fact that they're adding a campaign is awesome for me.
Yeah.
Matto, where do you stand on the thing? Because you, for the longest time, didn't actually think you were capable of even playing online multiplayer stuff, and then all of a sudden, when Apex came out, you realised, oh shit, I can, and you're off to the races. It actually worked,
yeah.
Is Overwatch one you've messed around with at all?
Overwatch?
Yeah.
Nah, never played it.
Did it do anything for you? Did you like the look of it?
The trailer?
Well, I guess the last one, but even the trailer for the new one?
Not so much.
Does the single player speak to you at all?
But not even the second one. I'm sort of a bit skeptical about the whole campaign thing.
Yeah, go on.
I don't know if it's going to be like a story thing or it's going to be something like, say, if you know the game Destiny Warriors.
Oh, Dynasty Warriors,
Dynasty Warriors, yeah, where all you do is just clear out a whole area and that's it. Because going by the trailer, that's sort of what it looked like. I know there was no gameplay or anything.
Obviously not the same slash and hack, but same sort of idea, but with whoever your hero is.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in that sense, like if we look at it in that way, I guess there's similarities. I suspect Blizzard will probably go somewhere away from that path, but I get how you could come up with that from looking at it. Now that I think about it, it's not something I'd considered before, but probably on the money there.
Yeah, you'll be looking at more of the Diablo,
which is a game we'll talk about shortly. But
yeah, just level by level.
Take it out, bad guys. Every level, same
progressively. Thing. Yeah, because I think that they by the looks of it, there was all those robots and stuff like that. So it'd just be one of those games where like a Mushu or whatever they're called. Kind of like that, but like more of a Diablo thing where it's like, no, your character's got this abilities and these abilities, and it's first person. So
did the co-op mode? I think it was. I can't remember. I feel like there was a name, but it was like there was like a co-op, an online co-op thing as opposed to a PvP thing, which obviously the game already has PvP. Did that speak to you at all? The idea of maybe say Borderlands style, jumping in. And, I mean, because I think it was separate to the campaign. I don't think they're the same thing. It's not like Borderlands where you can play the campaign solo or jump in with mates. I think it was a separate thing entirely. Things. Yeah, I think there's basically like 3 pillars now. So you've got your single campaign. You've obviously got the established multiplayer with some new modes and stuff, and then there's a co-op thing, whatever that is.
Well, that's interesting.
No, that would be very much like what Blizzard did with StarCraft. They had their single player campaign, and then they had their co-op campaign, and then they got their PvP, which I think I love it. I mean, if you guys ever played StarCraft 2, it's a phenomenal feature to be able to be like, finally, hey, do you want to play StarCraft together? Yeah, sure. We'll take on some random team that'll obliterate us. Or it's like, hey, we'll just play against the computer with ourselves on a map that really shouldn't be for a map, and we really, really have to work together. So I hope that's the case with this.
Works for me. So I guess maybe we'll keep working towards Diablo because I think that's the big one of the lot. I think the internet kind of agrees, and I suspect that's probably the case amongst us. So there was Overwatch 2, and that's going to be pretty sweet. Next up, maybe World of Warcraft. Anyone got any thoughts on what we saw? Obviously, we just saw a CGI
trailer.
Again, Blizzard selling me on a goddamn trailer because they're assholes like that.
And it's still not even the best trailer they did for the weekend, but holy shit was it good.
I mean,
I look at that trailer and a lot of the trailers they actually do for World of Warcraft, and I sit back and go, man, I just wish they'd do Warcraft 4. Like when
yes, please, Paul, stop bringing that up. That hurts me every time I hear it. Every time I have that thought.
But is it the same physical pain? Is it the same for either of you? Like when you see these trailers for World of Warcraft, and you kind of get that little injection of Warcraft, whether it's a lore or just seeing certain characters or races or whatever, and then that it's now been 15 years, 16 years since World of Warcraft began. There's not been a Warcraft title anywhere in the middle there.
Yeah,
you kind of get the same sort of thing.
It sucks because I don't want to. There's nowhere you can go to get the storyline of what the fuck has been going on. Pardon my French, but my God, well, that's all I want to know. I want to know what is happening in that universe without playing World of Warcraft, and that sucks because Warcraft 4, like Warcraft 3, told such a great story about how that all, how things happened, and there were texts, and there were laws, and there were temples, and there were side missions, and it's like yes, yes, yes. I don't have time to invest in an MMO, so I can't ever know that story and it sucks. Like, there's no, I don't know, maybe there are some books out there or whatever, but it's like, no, just give us Warcraft 4 as well, that fills in up to this point, up to the point that it's starting their new game, because obviously that's where the Alliance and Horde are phasing out, and they're going with whatever that stuff was called.
Oh, the fact that it's called Shadowlands or something like that.
Shadowbreaker had the word shadow in it.
I don't know. Shadow's a big word at the moment. There was the Destiny DLC. There's the Final Fantasy 14 DLC or expansions. Shadow Keepers. Shadow. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Shadowlands, but
Shadowlands.
Like they had they were instead of I don't know what it is. Instead of Alliance and Horde, Covenants, is that it?
They've stolen the Covenant from Halo.
There are four Covenants. You got your Angelic Soul Guides, Liches, Warlords and Spies, Night Fae, which are Guardians of Nature and Shepherds of the Cycle, and like vampires.
Because we're not doing this thing in video right now, viewers/listeners, I'm so sorry. You're like, the bemused look on, I think, both myself and Matto's faces is something you really ought to have seen, but sorry, you can't. We had no idea what you were saying then, for the most part. I picked a few names, but that was about it. Were you any better, Matto?
Nah, I know nothing.
Yeah, you guys know nothing because you're plebs, and you don't. You're not like me who's got a
PC Master Race.
Fuck off! I'm not talking about their PC Master Race. I'm talking about Google Master Race. I just Googled the information, didn't I?
Yeah. Look, I've messed around with the old Warcrafts, and I do enjoy them a lot, and.
None of this makes sense, though. This is a whole new thing. This is like, there's never been Koreans or Necrolords or Night Fae or Vent.
Say Koreans?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce any of that shit.
That sure sounded like what he said, but I suspect that wasn't the case. Alright, so are we more... whenever World of Warcraft finally runs its course, which I think everyone's kind of tipped would happen for years and years now, and then Classic comes along and it blows up again. But... what are we more likely to see? A World of Warcraft 2 or Warcraft 4?
World of Warcraft 2. Make some more money.
I'll go World of Warcraft 2 as well.
I mean, if they were going to release a Warcraft 4, they would have done it after using the engine of StarCraft 2, and they haven't. They've just been sitting there doing nothing.
Well, they've put all their time into Diablo, but I'm
the
actually. Listen to that laugh. I think he just died inside. He's starting to protest against Blizzard now as well.
What? No, I don't protest. You know that. Shh, don't tell people I protest.
I'm actually the opposite. I actually reckon we're more likely to see Warcraft 4, only because MMOs in like that traditional World of Warcraft sense are kind of getting fewer and further between. There's less success stories. World of Warcraft obviously is the biggest success story, but I mean, Star Wars came along and that didn't do much in the end. Elder Scrolls Online is doing fine, but they had to completely overhaul what they were doing, go from paid to free, and they've really had to pander to people to get the numbers in the door. Final Fantasy 14 is probably the only other really big one alongside World of Warcraft, and even then there's a big gulf between them.
Fallout 76?
Nah.
I mean, I don't look at it necessarily... I know you were trying to go for a reaction, but I don't necessarily look at it in the same way that those other MMOs are. Fallout 76 is more your Destiny, Division, Anthem sort of style.
Anthem?
Well, I mean, it's very, very similar to Anthem because they're both shit.
Look,
but
the problem is, though, that all this new Warcraft and stuff like that's still running on such an old engine. It doesn't look fantastic. They're eventually going to have to make World of Warcraft 2. and I think that's more. It's going to make more money than a Warcraft 4 that doesn't
100%.
that gets one-time release and then it's done. Like they don't really do DLC, and it's Warcraft. You can't exactly. I mean, you could probably buy some co-op stuff like you can in StarCraft 2 and avatars and stuff, but I mean, we're talking.
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things like they look at the sales of Diablo 3, which, what was it, like 2010, I think it came out, and then obviously it came to the consoles a couple of years later. That thing sold like 40 million copies, which is certainly more than... I mean, obviously you make more money out of World of Warcraft because there's the monthly subscriptions and all that as well. But, I mean, they would confidently look at Diablo 3 and presumably what's going to happen with Diablo 4 and they go, we can do that for Warcraft, and because it's been so long, we might even sell even more of these things. And we'll put it on the PS5 and Xbox Scarlet and all that sort of stuff. Like that, there's plenty of money to be made on it. And given the size of Blizzard, it's almost one of those things. Like, I know I put the question up there in terms of what when World of Warcraft finally dies, which may be never anyway. But I could just as easily see them develop a Warcraft 4 now. It's just kind of going along in the background, and we see it in 5 to 10 years or whatever the case is. I don't know, pure speculation, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like there's more hope for Warcraft than I think a lot of people, like as in traditional Warcraft, than a lot of people perhaps give it. And isn't there a remaster or something of 3 on the way? Is that right?
2 is what we could hope
2.
for.
I won't object.
As I said to my mate today, I'm like, the chance of 2 coming out or getting a remake is it's very time dependent. Because if you release 2 remastered and it's fantastic, then you're not making any money on 4, because everyone will be like, why the fuck would I want to play 4 when I have access to 2 again, which was the greatest Diablo game.
Oh, sorry. For a moment, I thought you were talking about our potential for Warcraft. People will buy Diablo 4. I have no doubt about it. Diablo 2 will just
that's what I'm saying. It's time dependent though. Like if you release it too soon, like people are like, man, what? I'm still hung up on Diablo 2. It's all you know what? You'd be better off releasing 4, make your sales, and then release 2. That's the thing. They did the same thing with they made StarCraft 1 free. And everyone was like, oh, grouse. But then they were like, hey, 2's out. And people were like, oh, okay. And then they're like, oh, by the way, here's the remastered StarCraft. And people were like, oh, motherfucker, that's so beautiful. Oh, I gotta play that.
Alright, so before we launch into the Diablo 4 conversation, one last thing that's kind of popped up.
The Hearthstone trailer that you ignored?
You may or may not have anything to say about it. Hearthstone.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another expansion. The trailer was nowhere near as good as the last one.
Honestly, I didn't even realise there was a trailer out for it. I saw some facts and details come out, but I must have missed that completely. No. But Hearthstone do anything for anyone?
Never played it.
Don't get
me either.
Is that the card one? It's a slippery slope if you're an addict like me.
No, if they don't know Gwent, then I don't care.
Yeah. All right. Let's shift our focus to the big one then. And Matto, you can kick us off with this since we led with Damo for Overwatch. Diablo 4, what did it do for you?
I do like it that they showed some gameplay.
Yes, there's 2 trailers.
Because they had the big trailer at the start, you thought, oh, is this going to be one of those, same as World of Warcraft, just show us a trailer and
it 100% was, but infinitely
And then
better.
halfway through you see gameplay thinking, oh, this actually looks really good. And you get to go as a bear.
Yeah, the bear was pretty sweet. That was the barbarian,
cool.
right?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was. It was the big dude.
But you watched both trailers then, so the gameplay one and then the
I only watched half of the 9-minute one.
Oh shit, you didn't even get to the best bit.
I apologise.
Oh no.
You definitely need to finish that
of
trailer.
My peers, it's a druid.
I just can't remember that part of it clearly enough, because I feel like almost all 3 classes had some form of transformation in the end. But maybe the barbarian didn't. That would be unusual for a barbarian, but I feel like
Diablo, you never know.
Either, you can't rule it out. But what? Yeah, so you were happy then with what you saw from the gameplay trailer anyway?
Oh yeah, I was really happy. Even though I haven't played it since 1, but it just looks the same as 1. Just
Oh man,
better graphics.
We need to. Damo, do you have Diablo on the
no,
Diablo 3
I
on
don't.
the PS4?
I was going to buy it for the Switch, but I never got around to it.
I was going to say the three of us should launch into that at some point.
I mean, we can. I don't think Diablo's anywhere near out, is it? 2022, maybe?
No, Diablo 4, it was a weird one. They said that it was going to come to PS4, Xbox One, and PC, but then they said, oh, it's still a fair way away. I'm like, what? Like, the PS5 and Xbox Scarlet are out next year, so, I mean, it might come to the current gen of consoles, but it'll be an afterthought, if that's the case. It'll be one of those things where they're sitting back saying they don't want, like, maybe Sony and Xbox are saying, don't you mention our consoles yet. Like, we want nothing to do with it.
Stay away.
Or they genuinely, like you said, Matto, plan to do it cross-generation or something like that.
Trailer. Oh, okay, so there were gameplay trailers. Cinematic.
Yeah, there was 2. So there was
everything
the
got
3 to 4 minute long.
Everything got
a
cinematic and a gameplay trailer. Okay. Apart from Hearthstone.
And the CG trailer, which I know, Matto, you only got about halfway through it. Definitely go back and finish watching it before the end of the night. But Damo, you obviously watched it.
I know you keep avoiding this, Paul, because I think you're hiding something very, very, like, there's no word I can't use. There's no word I can't.
No.
There's no word I
can
use.
Yeah, well, you two talk.
There's not a sexual innuendo, because what I'm trying to make is an actual.
Table.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it looks like the table's a bit rocky there, mate.
Yeah.
The
table 100% propped up.
Bit full of blood. You're losing a bit of blood in your face.
Aroused is the word you're looking for.
See, because I looked at it, I was like, okay, cool, I guess. I mean, it's not my favorite Diablo trailer, but as soon as I saw the gameplay, I was much more sold.
Whereas for me, I was like, okay, look, they're going to make obviously some fairly important changes to Diablo to the gameplay. I have no doubt, and it looks fantastic. But that CG trailer had me so excited just because of the. I mean, Diablo is a dark, brooding sort of game at the best of times. Like that's the whole idea about it. You've got demons coming in. It's not it's not a party. But the way they sold that and this whole lead up to, sorry Matto, you're gonna probably have to hear this whether you like it or not. The fact that Lilith finally appears at the end of the trailer there, and the way they do it, the whole thing.
Who?
Lilith.
Who's Lilith?
You'll see.
Who's Lilith?
Fairly prominent demon.
Oh.
Not
okay.
exclusively from the Diablo universe, that's a angels and demons style sort of level thing. But I mean, she featured in Diablo 2. That's been a long time. Everyone thought she was scrubbed out then. Not the case. She's back in a big way, and even just the design of the character itself, that kind of weirdly. And sorry, Matto, I know you're trying to watch it now, but you're going to probably get spoiled before you actually get to the segment anyway.
Oh, well.
Her kind of slightly translucent sort of skin, you can kind of see straight through her, but then you can still see all the blood flowing on the inside, you can see the heart pounding away. I was listening to an interview after the fact, and what their art design intention was with Lilith was to create... what they say, beautiful but terrifying or something like that, and you could kind of see how they'd managed to replicate the stunning design, but then at the same time when they kind of pan up to the head, up to her head there, and it's just she's going to destroy me. This is going to be a bloodbath. I don't know, there was equal parts good and bad, I guess, to the whole thing there. I don't know. I'm trying to work out the right words to describe it, because I've forgotten exactly the phrase they used in the interview. But I was seriously impressed by what they put together there. And I mean, it was, at the end of the day, it was a CG trailer. It doesn't tell us anything about the gameplay. It doesn't tell us a huge amount about the story, other than the fact that Lilith is a major part of it. But I was over the moon by what I saw. Damo? What do you think?
It was kind of cool. We're sitting there. I don't know much about Diablo lore. I know Lilith played a big part in things, because obviously Well, obviously they wouldn't be bringing her back for an entire game if she wasn't. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
As the music too, the music in the background as it just ramps up
everything,
and up
everything
and up.
about that was selling me because it's freaking Blizzard and they know how to sell you on a trailer. I mean, I was just like, I don't know who that character is, like, but whatever. I mean, that looked cool. Like, I'm not.
Sorry, which character are you referring to?
Yeah,
the other
like,
one
I mean,
kind of,
like, we're talking
Lilith.
about,
Okay.
like, a Lady Gaga comes out of a embryo with a bat wing of skin looking veins with light. Everything about it was cool. Like, there's not a single thing that anybody that says like, well, that looked a bit stupid is like, yeah, and you can just go over there and not have an opinion anymore. So that's cool. But like, you can't because it's again. I keep saying it, and everyone's like, "We get it. You like Blizzard." They do. They are so good at just selling you on a trailer like that. They have so much effort put into that. I mean, I've seen shittier movies like Beowulf didn't even put in that much effort to goddamn something that amazing.
Yeah, can Blizzard themselves? I know that we've obviously got the World of Warcraft movie out, or the Warcraft movie out there. But can Blizzard
They
just
should've.
themselves just make a movie? Like
They should have. I mean,
It'd
that
be
movie was kind of cool, but they should have. They really should have just been like, "No, this is how the story goes. Don't change that, you piece of shit."
Matto, have you finished watching the trailer? Or is that still going on your end?
I was still going.
That's all right. We'll leave you to it. We'll keep rambling.
20-minute trailer.
Well, he said he was halfway through it. So
Not 2 minutes.
He's getting
got 2 minutes to go.
rickrolled.
he's getting to the real meat and potatoes of this trailer. Then
Send the blood coming out.
Oh yeah, okay. Of all three guys,
Yeah,
see Rick Astley?
the third one's going up now.
that was.
Oh.
I felt so sorry for that dude because
Why?
I'm here for knowledge. That's all it is. I was here for
And
knowledge,
he's
and then
about
now
to
he's
get
gone.
it. He's
Well,
about to get
I'm-
all the knowledge in the world.
and then die.
No, he gets. Life doesn't finish after death. Like it keeps going. It's the whole thing. Like he's gonna go to hell probably and learn all about. Because look, you see the ecstasy in his eyes. That's the beauty. Like he's like, oh, knowledge. He loves it. He was like, him and you, Paul, are very similar in your reaction during this trailer. Oh man, I wish you could see Matto's face right now. Imagine a piece of broccoli, people, being forced down your throat. That's Matto's face right now. He's just like, oh, what is this? Lady Gaga! Oh,
He's choking
no!
on awesome.
This took a evil turn.
It
Has
did,
she
right?
finally come out through
Yeah,
the?
she
the
came
blood?
out from a whatever you call it, the blood triangle thing.
The one thing that Blizzard
Oh,
had,
he's
so
dead.
like they confirmed that obviously that's Lilith, but the one thing they don't do is outline who that guy is, and just doing
Jeremy
a little bit of
Irons.
trawling through the maybe Jeremy Irons, but trawling through the internet today, no one seems to know about him either. So it seems like this might be a new character that's being introduced.
Probably, it's
They've
probably one
kinda
of her kids.
Could be an uncle.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
They were dropping little tidbits on Twitter throughout the course of the day, just via the official Diablo account that was kind of talking about how we're off to a new region.
Don't ask questions.
Obviously, we've got the new characters, etc., etc. But they're really kind of leaning into the fact that we're taking things in new directions, whether that's in terms of the location or whatever. There's lots of kind of concept art they've been putting out there. Multiple new zones. Apparently, it's now going to be a proper like interconnected world. So not in the same way that you kind of load up another region. You will just if you need to teleport somewhere, obviously that's a little bit different. But you can just walk from end to end if that's what you wanted, without kind of screen pans or load screens or any of that sort of stuff in the middle, which I think's cool. I mean, that's where a lot of games are going, not just Blizzard games these days. I think that's awesome. But Matto, now that you've finished watching it, what
What was that?
do you think? That'll be Damo's phone, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Why don't Blizzard just make a movie?
Yeah, we were saying that before. Like they're just so good at it.
They're better than half the trailers I see on YouTube.
The only thing, I mean, and if we just base it on like say that game trailer alone, if they made a movie and actually told a full story, they're not trying to split it into 2 or 3 parts, it's going to be a 5-hour long movie.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
That was 10 minutes just to see Lilith finally pop out of blood. Like,
yeah, but I mean, that's to see her
awesome.
where she came from. I mean, just give him a Netflix series, really, eh?
Yeah, maybe. That sounds good to me. It can sit nicely alongside The Witcher.
Actually, fuck that. Give him a Prime series.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Let's just put it on Disney Plus.
Hey! I thought you said enough from China.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, good point. But Star Wars, like The Mandalorian's going to be on there, so...
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? We can't, like... Prime needs something outside of, Lord of the Rings and The Boys and countless other fantastic shows that are on Prime.
So, closing thoughts. Who wants to kick things off?
Yeah, I guess...
BlizzCon overall, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there were some great things that happened. Anybody that here that's like a Hearthstone fan is just like, oh, you missed out on all this information. It's like, yeah, but that's information that you already looked up anyway, so go away. But I'm happy that Blizzard are taking steps to rectify, just like not that we put them up on a pedestal, but I think they put themselves up on a pedestal. Like, we can't do no wrong by our fans. It's like, yeah, you can, and you kept doing it. So stop that. Like the pathetic Diablo release last year about the game. It's just like we're not even making this game. We're just using the assets, giving the assets to
Diablo
somebody
Immortal.
Else. Yeah, it was like things like that.
I was disappointed that wasn't there. I know a lot of people hated that because it's a mobile game and they're not being faithful to Diablo, but I was pretty keen on that.
Yeah, I know, but
and I still am.
Name it something else. Don't get.
But I mean, it's meant to be set in the Diablo universe.
Yeah, Heroes of the Storm.
The real blasphemy would have been if they called it Diablo 4.
Heroes of the Storm is based in the Blizzard universe. Why don't they just call it Blizzard of the Storm? It's dumb. That's why, Paul, you prick. You could have called it anything else. Legit. Don't. Like, yeah, it's Blizzard. You would have sold it, but you screwed around, and people weren't happy, and I can understand that. It's like they're not entitled. They're like, well, there's been this much time, and you haven't announced us anything great, so thanks. But they're rectifying that, and I think that's great. And I think they're really trying to stay true. I think they're like, hey, even though Overwatch is still doing so great, here's the second one we're working on. So don't expect any new characters and stuff popping up. But your progress and all your cosmetics and everything portable over. That's another great thing.
Yeah, kind of cross plays with the if you want to play particular multiplayer, like obviously the traditional multiplayer, you can just play it with Overwatch 1 people as well, which is kind of cool.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I guess it'll only be specific maps and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe whatever the traditional multiplayer for Overwatch 2. Maybe that stays step in step with Overwatch 1. And it's just the new stuff that they're adding. But even then, that feels weird. Like, at some point, there's got to be a time when they say, okay, Overwatch 1 is now done. Like, we'll keep the servers going, but we're not adding new stuff to that game. Just so that we can keep it in step with Overwatch 2, because it kind of diminishes the value of Overwatch 2.
Yeah, so just add a date, say, right, on this date, Overwatch is done.
Yeah.
Kill it.
Works for me. Yeah. And
well, then at least everyone knows.
If you want new stuff, yeah. I think it's reasonable. It'll probably last a couple of years, but it also might be a case where maybe it's just only these maps will you be playing against other Overwatch people. So then it's just something on the server end. Like if it tags you into a map that's one of the old maps, then all of a sudden there's a whole other pool of players available to you. But if it puts you in one of the new ones, you're only playing with people who've got Overwatch 2. I mean, it could be as simple as that as well. I don't know. It sounds like a networking online infrastructure nightmare, but I'm sure they'd be able to find a way to make it work. This is Blizzard we're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Matto, what are your final thoughts on all things BlizzCon?
Well, we can say it was a lot better than last year with that whole mobile thing.
Don't you have a mobile phone?
Oh yeah, but it's just the whole people just were not happy about that. And I've never really looked into it, and those trailers, which I don't really get that hooked on trailers, but with Diablo especially, I may look into it
Yes.
because it showed
Alright,
some gameplay. So that's what I want to see in trailers, is some gameplay. I'm like,
Yeah, there is. There's
So
there's
what's
gameplay
Warcraft
trailers.
I'm going to start trolling.
There's gameplay
PlayStation
trailers for
Network
all of
me.
them, man. So if whatever game you want to look into, you can look at the gameplay trailer as well. Like the worst thing about World of Warcraft
Oh, that's
is it's just a reskin. Pretty much is what everyone's saying. It's just like awesome. Like new people are like, oh, that looks so cool, and it's like everyone else is like, yeah, but it's still World of Warcraft. It's just a reskin and.
everyone will be like, look at the graphics,
Yeah.
they're so good.
Oh my god.
Just hold off on that.
Yeah,
Hold
so it was
off.
great to see the Diablo.
Never trust a trailer with their
Even the
graphics.
Overwatch, had some cool gameplay, but they did some weird things with their gameplay
Yeah.
trailer. Like they had that over third person view, and then they would go in. They didn't show as much as first person. And
Yeah, they
I was
did,
like,
yeah.
ooh.
They just show the robot pushing
Oh
a train
yeah, that.
or a car.
I'm good at pushing things.
That robot.
Oh shit.
Look at me.
Well, I've just been doing some digging for you, Matto. Diablo 3, they've kind of axed the old Reaper of Souls Ultimate Edition when it first launched in favour of the Eternal Collection that's now available. So you
Eternal?
can't actually get the older one, which would absolutely be the cheaper one.
Nah.
Because the Eternal Collection is full price, $100.
What? It
On
came out.
PlayStation Network, you can get it for $54 pre-owned via EB.
Oh, I was just say pre-owned on PlayStation. I was like, what?
Yeah.
PS Store.
I'm pretty sure it's
Pre-owned.
one of those games
Never
that
heard of
appears
it.
on sale from time to time too, and it's like $20, buy it. Fuck you.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think they did a pretty awesome job for the entirety of
Yeah.
BlizzCon so far. You'll still have people in the different panels that are piping up and complaining about the what did you call it, the Hong Kong issue, and I get it. And they're not wrong, but there's a time and a place, and let's just respect the creators that are up there that probably themselves don't even agree with what's going on, but it's not a decision for them to make. So the fact that they've rocked up, they've shown off some really, really cool looking games. Hell, even Overwatch has kind of slightly sold me, given the fact that there's single player and this co-op thing, whatever that ultimately ends up being. Like, that gets me in the door, because online multiplayer is just not my scene for the most part. And then Diablo 4 is just, well, that's made my week.
Yeah,
So,
fair enough, man.
Blizzard's not off the hook, but they're making some really cool games, so I'm happy.
Even if it's nothing really new, it's just all sequels.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they've outside
need
of
to.
I think Overwatch popping up. That's what they've been known for a long time. So it
There's
doesn't
no
faze
need.
me too
There's
much.
no need for it either, so it's all good. I'm not expecting
Yeah.
like, oh hey, give us a new franchise. Nah, just keep
Yeah.
going on what you're doing.
Pretty much. And otherwise, I look forward to when they next attempt to try and show off Diablo Immortal, because now that the hardcore fan base has got their Diablo 4 fix, maybe they'll be more receptive to it next time. Who knows?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think that wraps this one up. So, if you've enjoyed the episode, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. All that stuff is somewhere
Down below
I'd say
there.
below us, but we're not actually there in video, so it's below this video display thing anyway.
That way.
Um,
No point. Oh well,
you've
what
got
am I
access
pointing
to-
for?
Yeah, we're so used to it, but we've got episodes of Patch, The Insider Player 2 Plays, Late Game Review, Gamer School, and a whole lot more. There's going to be breakout clips from the Player 2 Marathon that occurred this weekend. Yes, we did get the $4,000 that we were looking to raise.
Can you still
That
donate?
was awesome. You can still donate too, I think up to a few days afterwards, so if you want to get some free games, and there are some cool ones, and I've still left some big ones on the table as well, so you can...
I was going to say show them, but then I realised we're not actually doing any video stuff.
If you donate, there's a very, very good chance that you'll come away with a game of some sort, whether it's a PS4 or Xbox One. I don't really think there was much on PC or Switch. There was a couple Switch games, but not many. The Mana Collection was one though. But there's things like that are still on the table, like Plants vs Zombies Battle for Neighborville, and there's lots of copies of Devil May Cry 5 and Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Quality game.
Which we'll move on from that one. We gave away all our copies of Borderlands 3 that we had. There's still Monster Hunter World, the with the Iceborne, the Master Edition that's got Iceborne in it.
Oh, how's
There's a whole
nobody
bunch.
want that?
What was that? Sorry.
How does nobody want that?
No, it's just that we didn't give it away during the stream.
Oh.
I was going to, and then Matt gave me the no. That's for people that have already donated. So.
Oh.
Because there was a few specific ones during the 24 hours, like, okay, we've got a copy of this. If you donate, because the normal go is $5 plus donation, and you're into the draw to get whatever, and you'll get something kind of randomly drawn out. But then during the stream, it's okay, if you can hit us up for, say, $10, we'll give you this exact thing. You know exactly what you're getting. It's not just potluck, and you might get some shit game that you don't want, or a game that you've already got, or something like that, or a game for a console that you don't have. You could guarantee you were going to get it. So you had a few little prestige things along the way, like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. We had a PS4 code for that. That was $30, so you save like $60 given it's a brand new game. We had special editions for the Division 2, the Dark Zone edition, for Xbox, which literally costing people $50.
Isn't that like 150?
It's like $150 at EB.
Bargain.
So these sorts of things are still available if you want to get your donation in nice and quick, and Matt's probably going to start going through everything probably starting tomorrow, the day that this goes live, so Wednesday. If you get your donations in nice and quick, there might still be some stuff there for you. Otherwise, you can still be proud of the fact that you're donating to a really good cause. Anyway, the website's player2.net.au. That was a really long kind of bit of bush bashing there. So visit the website player2.net.au. There's reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features. We recently had a review of Death Stranding go up, which we gave it a D.
For delicious.
So
Now I know why it wasn't at PAX.
Well, thing is, I mean, it's sitting on an 84 on Metacritic, so it's one of those ones that seems to be kind of divisive.
I just think we need to
like it
wait.
or hate it.
I think that we
Seems
need
to
to
be.
wait. I think they're all making assumptions. Even those who have played it, I think you need to wait.
Well, I think it's one of those things where like, and we're used to seeing games get scores in the 80s, and that's because everyone's saying it's like between an 8 and a 9 out of 10. Whereas this is a sort of game where you're getting scores from say 5, which when you throw a D grade into your Metacritics and those sort of things, it calculates it to be a 5 out of 10. So we'll work with that. It's getting scores between 5 and 10, and as a result, it's kind of getting your Metacritic in the 80s. So it's kind of one of those things that it's not just universal. Everyone believes this. There's actually still a range going on. I think that's really cool and really interesting because we don't see that much.
Well, it's more of a who's a Kojima and who's a not a Kojima.
Well, there could be a bit of that too. There's also some reviews that you should absolutely not pay attention to. I'm not going to name those names on the stream though.
Can I?
On the recording. Huh?
I have no idea. Well, I was just going yell.
Paul James, Matto Phillips, David
Ignore that
Miller.
IGN. They gave it a 6.8.
IGN.
Yeah, ignore those guys and what they've got to say.
Well, listen to the
You've
guy
only
on Player
listened-
2. Listen to him.
You've only listened to 40 minutes of us so far. So, yeah, there's awesome stuff there. Go and check it all out. There's also links to the podcast series, patched, which audio form, if you're not already listening to it in audio form now. We've got Dev Diary, the Player 2 Pixelcast. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. And if you've donated to the Player 2 Marathon, well, you can probably now donate to us and help us out
No,
as
they've
well.
run out of money.
We're far less important, though, so thank you for looking after the kids first. And then there's Twitter. Damo, where can you be found?
At Tacos Talks. I almost took their Twitter handle, Zombie Ghost Train, because no one's got it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm taking it.
Yeah, you
No, I'm
fuck
not.
off, you are. I swear to God.
And Matto, you are at Zombie Ghost Train,
Yes, that is correct. That is my new Twitter handle.
more commonly known as Matto_Phil.
This has got to be the longest plug ever.
It is.
Yeah.
Usually it's like a 30
Yeah, it's-
second thing.
it's-
This has gone for about, what, 5
15
minutes?
minutes.
15 minutes.
You know what the best thing is though? Like people that know our show and know that Paul, hits Adderall around this time and just word vomits out the finishing up. They'll be like, "Why is there like an extra 10 minutes of this segment? Oh shit! There, drop some bombs. Oh, what's going on?"
They look at it, this usually is like 30 seconds left, like, hang on, this has still got 5 minutes to go. What is going on?
Yeah, there's just a whole bunch of dead air at the end. We screwed up. I screwed up the edit afterwards. Paul James Games
It's just
for me.
us talking for just 5 minutes of just nothing.
Yeah, which is actually what we've done for the last 45 minutes. But anyway, Player2AU for the website, and that is it. So thanks a lot for watching / listening, and we'll see you next time.
Let's do thumbs up.
Oh yeah, shit.
Even though they
People
won't
aren't
see
going
it.
to see shit. Right, damn it.
All right.